So who's graduating? Victory. Huh? You know, last time the courtroom been this heavy, I think I was on trial or something. Thank you for that introduction, Your Honor. And I just want to thank you for that brief overview of the drug court system. If you understand the power of this program, it brings CSBs, law enforcement, court officials, probation, parole, local government, all under one umbrella for one common purpose, and that's to eradicate substance use disorder in our community. So like they said, I'm from a small town, Philadelphia, and I can remember telling my mama, I'm grown, I can do it. I'm grown, I can take care of myself. I don't need you. At 15 years old, it was 2.2 minutes. I was banging on that door, let me back in, Mama. I didn't know it was wolves out here. But what you all have accomplished is, I mean, from the depths of my heart, I just give y'all the utmost respect and admiration. It's a journey, but it's not over. The thing about the program of drug court is that it gives us an opportunity to figure out, let me pull this up just a little bit. It gives us an opportunity to figure out what recovery is. It's a lifelong journey. So from here, it's just beginning. And there's wolves out there. The disease of addiction want nothing more than to put us in a box. It doesn't matter what kind of box. Pine box, jailhouse box, but it wants to destroy you. I mean, utterly. And I don't want y'all to get discouraged because it's possible. And I believe that's what I'm here for, is to inspire hope. There's two things I learned in recovery. Well, it's a whole lot of things I learned in recovery. But two of the most important was that I didn't have to do it alone, and I don't ever have to pick up again. So that's choice and community. Choice is powerful. At one point, we didn't have that. All we knew is we needed to get high. We needed to use. And for whatever, by whatever means necessary, we needed to use. But today we have choice. We don't have to pick that up again. So this wheelchair, just so y'all know, is a direct reward of that 24 years in substance use disorder. I was a horrible individual. So you could probably understand my discouragement when I came in and they said the elevators were broke and that I had to go to jail to get up there. But this is how important this is to me. Being an alumni means just that. It means that you heed the call when they want you to go and share your testimony about how we get here. You know, like I said, I was a horrible individual on two legs. So to be able to have the ability to still come here and speak to you all, you know, is monumental. It's nothing. It's no greater reward than to sit up and speak and see the eyes of someone's understanding be enlightened, because they have hope, and it may not even be just for us, but it'll be for a family member, you know, co-worker, a relative. Because I was called many things, man. You know, criminal, loser, thorn of society. But today I'm not. Today I'm a thriver. Today I'm called a supervisor. What is wrong with these people? They said, we gonna give you $250,000 as your budget. Wait, what? But it's because of the journey and the program of drug court. The people in our circle, you know, we have the judge. Make sure you get his number. Put it in. I know he'll give you his number. Put it in your phone book. You know, get the officer's number. You know, get a support system. Right? We have community services board. We have probation, law enforcement. We have all these individuals that's here for us, not to incarcerate us, but to cheer us on. The champions, the fans. You know, they want to see us grow. And think about the times when, you know, you got an officer behind you and you get anxious because you know you're doing wrong. But they don't, you know you're in the wrong. But now we can call them friends. And just make sure that your support system is solid. It's a journey. And just because we get well doesn't mean everybody else is going to get well. There's going to be people that's going to look for your downfall. Wait for the other shoe to drop. Use that as courage. Use that as energy, momentum. But like I said, I'm from Philadelphia. Go Eagles. And, my story ain't no different than y'all. It came with a lot of trauma, a lot of baggage, a lot of heartache. I was shot when I was 18. Like I said, I thought I was grown. I went out there into that lifestyle. And it was a real violent, violent area. But I didn't learn my lesson then. I figured, and I wanted to be a dancer. But I figured that, and it was either I was going to be all the way in or all the way out. And I chose to be all the way in. And I didn't want to do that, but if I wanted to be in that lifestyle, it took a lot of changing, and I became something that I didn't want to be. And I got darker and deeper for years and years. I spent a lot of time in and out of the system. But I was never given an opportunity for drug court. Never given an opportunity, because I was in denial, actually. Didn't know I had a disease. So at 39, I was it was a drug deal, and it went the way it was supposed to go, and I got shot again, and lost the ability to walk, and it was immediate. But the depth of this disease was that I didn't even care. I just needed to get back to the streets. This is how deep my disease was. And no one was there to assist me in that at the time. The family, they ready to write you off. They want no more to do with you because of the pain that I was causing them. And at the time I had two young children, and I had one on the way. What kind of father is that? And then the officers came and rescued me. They say arrested. No, I was rescued. Because after the mobility issues occurred, therefore the disease kind of magnified itself. And then the officers came to my home and took me to jail. And I'll never forget, and this is why I talk, I implore you all that stay in school, that went to college, and y'all journeyed and utilized those funds the appropriate way. I take my hat off to you all, because while you all was doing what y'all was doing, I was making a way for y'all to be employed, right? But, and that officer had, and I'll never forget him, Officer Kressel, he had the compassion, the empathy to plant a seed. He wasn't mean, he wasn't hateful, he was doing his job. But he planted that seed in me. And after I, went through my withdrawals and slept for days, when I woke up, that seed he planted, it started to grow. He said something just as simple as, think of it like this, Leroy. At least now you get an opportunity to work on your problem. That was it. He didn't have to say any of that. But it let me know that there was a problem. I wasn't the problem, but that I had a problem. And what we do with problems, we solve them. So I had to figure that out. And lo and behold, Pulaski County, Judge Long, saw fit to offer me this drug court program. Drug court? Yeah, I'll take it. Where do I sign? I get to get out of jail? Sure, I'll take it. And truth be told, all I believed was that as long as I get through this program, guess what, y'all? I can get back to using drugs again. No matter what it cost me. It cost me my family, because I was displaced from my children. I was homeless. My mother was disappointed in me. All of this, it cost me. I had my reputation, if I even had one. But all I could think of was getting through the drug court program so I can go get high again. This is a beautiful scene, you all, to have you all in here. Celebrating these two individuals, and then those individuals that have yet to come. And when they They told me that the program would last 12 to 24 months. Guess what? I'm getting out of here in 12 months. I'm going back to the streets. Thank God that they didn't let me out. They kept me for about 21 months. But I didn't stumble. I didn't relapse. I made every appointment, every urine screen, never used. But they kept me around for a purpose. Because one of those important things that I learned about was my higher power, whom I give the glory and honor to. Because without his sacrifice, I couldn't benefit here today. And staying in that program, it showed me that the people that enveloped me, they really was genuine, and they really cared for my well-being, which that never occurs. Because all I ever been around was individuals that wanted what was in my pocket, or was in my drug, what was at my disposal as far as drug users. But these people, they didn't want anything from me but to succeed. They just wanted me to succeed. And they hung around, they stuck around, and supported me. And that carried weight with me. So they offered me a job and said that I would be something like a peer, something support, something. I'm like, well, what does that entail? Because at the time I had landed a job as a housing counselor. And they said, well, you get to help people with with the disease of addiction. When I was in treatment, there was 3 goals I wanted. 3 long-term, short-term, it didn't matter. 3 goals I wanted was, number 1, I wanted to grow closer to my higher power. I just wanted to know and know what God knew. Number 2, I wanted to be influential in my children's lives. I wanted to help them to develop so I can write, generational curses. I wanted to end that. I don't want my children to have to deal with the disease of addiction as I did. And then the 3rd one was that I wanted to utilize my story to inspire hope in others. Thank God, we knocked all 3 of them down, y'all, right? My son, just graduated. He on his way to the military. I got two baby girls, 13 and 10. They're not too sure right now, but but they're doing well in school. AB honor students. I'm in their lives. I'm in their lives. But there was once I was able to acknowledge those goals. Sorry, I just kind of lost my train of thought. I started thinking about my babies. But anyway, so he said I'll be able to help people with their disease of addiction. So I said, well, okay, now I can be a part of the solution and not the problem anymore. But at the time, I was a housing counselor, and them people took a chance with me. I'm like, I don't know. He said, well, we have a salary already carved out for you. Salary? That sounds pretty interesting, right? But so I came to work for the Community Services Board there in New River Valley, and they took me through the training, 72-hour training. I became this peer, and I was a peer support in the drug courts, peer support through the Bridge program, peer support with the SAFE team, and then there was this peer center that opened up, and I applied for the supervisory position, and then I got that. But what I found was that the peer support role enabled me to sustain my recovery. And I watched that with other peers because it was about giving it away, right? They said you can't keep your recovery unless you give it away. So now this is my passion, is that not only do I help individuals in recovery, I also help those individuals perfect their careers as peer recovery specialists, certified peer recovery specialists. So think about that. I just told y'all where I came from. I was a low-life, 16-year-old know-it-all who ran away from home and became a dope dealer. I became a drug user, became addicted to drugs, and I became a loser dad, and I became paralyzed. But then I became a champion, and I became sober. I got into this program, and then I became a supervisor. Now here I am speaking to you all, thanking y'all for y'all presence, thanking y'all for being here, telling y'all we gonna do this, we gonna make it, Congratulations to you all. Y'all earned it. I don't know who y'all are, but I love y'all all the same. Because I know what it is to go through this journey. You make it. You pick the phone up. Don't pick the drug up. Pick the key up, get to a meeting. Pick some recovery literature up. Or whatever you do, by golly, don't pick the dope up. That's all I got. Thank you.
Appreciate that. A very inspiring message. I had not gotten to meet Leroy. I know he had actually, some of our people had met him because when we started this drug court, so the Community Services Board folks got to go down to the New River Valley and meet with them and meet with their program. And when I called Lydia and said, you know, we need to have a guest speaker, she immediately suggested that she knew who the right person to come and speak to us was, and she was absolutely right. So, and we've got some grant applications floating around, I believe, for a peer recovery center. So if you're looking to change jobs and interested in moving to the beautiful Highlands, just let us know. So as I knew what would happen, I did leave out a couple of people, so I do need to go back. Crystal Hewitt is here, I believe, with Court Community Corrections, who's also on an advisory board. Probation 40, Abby Fedor could not be here, but our probation officers are here, and certainly probation parole is a large part of the program, so I certainly want to acknowledge them. And then our clerk of court, Debbie Byer, who's also part of our advisory board. It's a very important part of this because, you know, it was a new experience for her too. All the court orders, everything that you do in drug court is different than you would normally do, so having her cooperation was important. I'm going to turn this over in just a second.
Judge,
yes, sir.
All of those people are important. I will say we got the right judge when you came.
Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate that. Giving you a comment, I will not hold you in contempt for interrupting. Which was going to be, before I turn it over to Lydia and Tanya, was going to be one of the points, for those of you, who've heard some babies throughout this program, under normal circumstances, if we were having normal court and I had people with fussy babies in my courtroom, I would probably not be a happy camper. But what I tell people, especially the people who need to manage the money, and the question that always comes up with regard to drug court is, what the first question local government always wants to ask is, what's this saving us? And my immediate response is, well, considering that y'all are putting $0 into the program, anything that you're getting saved in money is a lot. Real answer to that is, if you figure out, if you look at the room and all the people who I think have currently 21 participants, and you figure that if all those people were in jail, we are well in excess of a couple $100,000 in terms of jail costs that have been saved. But the bottom line is, those babies that you're hearing are healthy babies born to healthy, sober mothers. And there is no way that you put a price on that. So if you want to know what the success of drug court is, that's the success of drug court right there, and you can never put a price on it. So, well, I just said that Ms. Fedor from Probation Parole was not going to join us in here.
I'm so sorry, Judge.
That's okay.